do a video on my channel's cornerstone and purpose and foundational purpose. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be breaking down on what actually my channel was created, the reasonings behind it, and this, that, and the third, and what the actual purpose and the functionality is, and where I would like y'all to take. You know what I'm saying? What I express and where I would like y'all to take it. I'm gonna do a little music. You know what I'm saying? Before to kind of get y'all mind right. You dig? We got so far to go through this winding path of life, following items on the dark, but they all exist for the same reason. Soaking up knowledge, about to connect it to the little speaker. You dig? 1 second, yo. I got you. We got so far to go through this winding path of life, following light out shine the dark, but they all exist for the same reason. Soaking up knowledge, learning lesson in the sun. Placed among infinite ones, divinity sprung from an idea, religion, division. Well, that's just an idea. Mind's eye opaque in this dark tank. Beats him like a drum in the move drum line. If you an opponent defeat with the intellectual promise from this. Diamonds in the rough, immaculate past the raps, mic in the blunt after rebirth. Kanye West in the beginning, now you looking prime time in my life with Pablo Dion. Running to the end zone, that's the pot you smoke, indica. Indigo, see me in real life. Have you thinking what it's like? While I hustle over still mics, hit the beat right. Loudly in this prime, Tyson fighting for his pride. Tattoo on the face, put your fakes and under dismay. Getting to the cake before the money. Yeah, I'm clever to speak, rather unique. Oh, and my karma is clean. My third eye vision, clear and transparent. No millions in the fam yet, but I'ma make billions, trillions. I caught fire while cops fire. In the streets, raised in the belly of the beast. Nothing but the best come correct. Super Saiyan 3 times 3. That's 9 lives. Beat the kitty 9 times out of 10. I'll be 10. Cheeks hit this young Lord and God love to believe this. Raw from the power in me. Young yet Eskimo psycho killer consciousness might just put a nest on her breast. Yes. Suck away the stress. In the meantime, I wrote a doobie, you know, that's for the meantime. Drop the box so I ate it up. Next to the chookie right first, and then ignite her, make her bite her lip. Iller than the future says she fiend for the sex. I like that pussy shade. That little rectangular patch. In that sundress. I'm the sun. Put some mental in the beat in a closed casket. Now you rest in peace, no disrespect, you see. You gon' hold a candlelight vigil. No disrespect, you see. Can't touch my cheese. Especially if you get a prenup, baby. No, you can't touch my cheese. Hand you 100 G's, psych nah. Him 101, holy conscience. Let me teach sinners. In the past, I'm the same as another past the shine, my brother. To another, getting to the cheese. Inspiration to the ones close to me. Devotion to each other. This human race is something we can change into a prospering civilization. Take a breath. We can do it, it just takes time. You know, for the meantime, gotta get level right now, cause my time's now. Land of the lost, where the lost will be found. You heard? Alright. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. You see what I'm saying? So my channel's purpose is to provide knowledge and wisdom to in turn institute elevation of the mind, body, and spirit, right? So number one, I'm here to elevate the mind, body, and spirit. That's the main thing that my channel's founded on. You see what I'm saying? That's the purpose of my channel, to provide elevation for the mind, body, and spirit. You see what I'm saying? The number two, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's my channel's purpose. Now my channel's cornerstone, or the first brick, you see what I'm saying, that was created to in my channel, so to speak. So my first thing to build on, you follow me? My channel's cornerstone is getting familiar with the energy to in turn gain awareness to better elevate one's spirit and reality, right? So what my channel is built on is to elevate you. You see what I'm saying? It's to elevate oneself, to also in turn elevate others. You see what I'm saying? We're here to work with each other, like, so to speak. So now to get to the functionality. So like how my channel really should work. You know what I'm saying? How you should be using my channel. You know what I'm saying? in my mind, this is the functionality of my channel. The functionality of my channel is purposed to keep track of the energy at hand. So, for example, we have the moon in Aries, the sun in Pisces. You see what I'm saying? And the functionality is to be able to keep track of, okay, this is in the 12th house here. Okay, well, what planet is working with this through here? You see what I'm saying? How does this planet do in this area? This, that, and the third. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way I'm going to be breaking down how the moon does in certain areas, how I talk about the moon falls in this area, the moon's at home here, the moon's exalted here, this, that, and the third, the moon's away, or the moon's at work. You see what I'm saying? These are the things that I'm explaining. This is the functionality of my channel and how to keep track of the energy. So you're looking at like, okay, right now the moon's in Aries. So for example, you got Leo rising is in the 9th house. You follow what I'm saying? And then whenever it moves to the 10th house, you're going to be watching the moon in Taurus and through the houses and watch for the 10th house. You see what I'm saying? And that's the functionality. So actually be able to look at each transition and follow the transition and see where the transition is actually going towards. For example, the functionality of my channel is to be watching one video to then in turn watch the following video whenever the next transition happens. For example, if you follow in the moon, you'll be watching a different video every 2.5 days. Or if you study in Mercury, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be looking at it every like 2 weeks. Or for example, like studying a certain energy for that time period. You want to look at that energy for that period of time that's in that area of life. See what I'm saying? So that's the functionality of my channel. And that's what it's based on. It's based on getting y'all minds right so you see which area of life this energy is actually being enacted. So for example, if you're talking about your natal chart, this isn't what I'm talking about. The natal chart is about for your individual self. The transiting chart is for outside of oneself to actually be able to relate with the actual world and what the whole world is going through, what the whole collective is going and working with. So I'm saying the natal chart is just your individual chart. So don't get all egotistic and think like, oh yeah, you know, it's all about just my natal chart. And just because I know my natal chart doesn't just because you know your natal chart doesn't mean that you know astrology. You see what I'm saying? It means that you know about yourself, and knowing the alignments outside of oneself and how you interact with those other alignments. Now that's astrology. You're seeing how you align to those other aspects. That's astrology. You see what I'm saying? Seeing which transition you're going throughout and seeing where you're transitioning towards, what's next for you, what has happened in the past, so that way you can gain knowledge and wisdom for the future and know how to go through that energy the right way, and the energy that's best for you. So that's the functionality of the channel. You follow me? With that being said, it's an each one teach one's kind of system, and that's what I think is the best system for aspects like these. Because once you have the knowledge and wisdom of how to go about things and the actual things outside of oneself, you can get to the point where you can teach anyone on any ladder scale. Let me just give my little dissertation now. Each one teach one. I envision each viewer attaining and utilizing the wisdom given to grasp and comprehend it to the point of being able to teach another. The wisdom shared, no matter the ladder scale. So no matter who you're teaching, you're able to teach them about what we got going on. Okay, the ladder scale mentally, aside from. Okay, pardon me. Let me just reiterate that. Okay, to teach another the wisdom shared, no matter the ladder scale. So no matter where someone's at. Scale mentally, aside from unteachable biased spirits. So other than the spirits that are biased and don't actually want to open their mind and say like, okay, outside of my bias, you are correct. And once an individual is stuck in their bias, you know that, okay, I can't teach them because they don't want to be taught. You see what I'm saying? That's an unteachable individual. That's an unresponsive kind of individual. I don't even waste your time with that kind of thing. And last thing, but no, what's that? How does that go? You know what I'm saying? Best for last type thing. Learn one's individual chart natally. So learn yourself first, and then in turn follow the celestial bodies through the 12 houses or areas of life. So first, you need to learn how where each planet is at in your individual houses, where each energy is enacting in which area of life for you. You see what I'm saying? And once you have that knowledge and wisdom of that, then you can in turn see, okay, how are the celestial bodies that are continually moving? Obviously, I have them in one snapshot of where I was risen and where I was born, this, that, and the third, and then boom, in turn, now I can see where things have transitioned to and why maybe I feel this certain type of way, or maybe I'm acting upon why my passions are going this certain type of way, why they're taking this turn, or why my knowledge and wisdom is where it's at. You see what I'm saying? So passion, Mars, Jupiter, knowledge and wisdom. sun, actions, moon, emotions, Mercury, thinking. You know, it's like simple shit, but it's like once you actually get the real knowledge and wisdom about it and know what each individual thing, like what planet is enacting what energy and what force are they putting out. And then you can look at which filtering system is that through, which sign, you see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you'll see which energy is acting with through which filter system in which area of life. So which area of life is this planet being filtered through? You see what I'm saying? And then that's where you get the real grasp on it. And then yeah. So with all that being said, areas of life, right? That they transit throughout to it. Okay. Follow, and then in turn, after you know your own natal chart, and then you can follow the celestial bodies to the 12 areas of life and how they transit throughout to attain awareness and control of one's personal circumstance in relation to what is outside of oneself. So, really, the key to getting a grasp on astrology and having knowledge and wisdom and being able to spread it throughout and being able to use my channel's functionality correctly, you want to have that knowledge and wisdom about the topic at hand. So then once you're able to actually know it enough to be able to teach it to somebody and teach it to a 3-year-old, for example, or teach it to an individual that has, a smaller mind than you or a smaller perspective on the world, a smaller awareness level, then boom, that's where, you actually know you're a good teacher, for example, and you know what you're talking about. If you're able to actually teach and it makes sense. So that third, you can actually have all the correspondences. And then the final thing of my channel's Cornerstone is to put a smile on your face, to make you happy, to actually be able to get you to a place where like, oh, okay, I might not be where I want to be, but I know where I can be, this, that, and the third. And that's where the music's functionality for it. That's like, it's not exactly the cornerstone of my channel, but it's part of the functionality of it. So the music is about like a transitional period. So like that period of time that the music was created, that's for that transitional period of time. And whenever it's released, so I'm saying that you can do a compare and contrast of where the plants are currently at and where that was released in the current state. So I'm saying, so you can kind of get a knowledge of wisdom about, oh, okay, where was the mind at this space and where was my mind at in this space. So like, for example, that's part of where what the music is for, is to like see where I was at in the emotional and thought realm whenever I first listened to this music. And that's part of the reason why I create the music. So I'm saying to see, not to see where you're at, but to know where you're at and then express that feeling at that time and have that snapshot and be able to actually, hold that in time. You see what I'm saying? And kind of create a crystal and gem in the mind about it. So I'm saying that boom, you're able to utilize that energy that you've formulated through the music. And that's why it's a functionality for everybody. So like once you know how the music affects you, for example, you know yourself, then you can say like, oh, okay, this is how the music would affect this, that, and the third, this individual, and like, oh, I should show you this music because it'll affect you in this way, and boom. You see what I'm saying? That's part of my functionality of the music. So like, that's why I do all kinds of different things. Like I do stuff that is so left field that people are like, yo, that doesn't even like match the actual pattern of how music was like the music in this realm was created, for example. And then I do other music that does kind of coincide with that and does follow the structure. So like I'm here to open the mind. You see what I'm saying? I'm here to get you at a higher elevation and think outside of your own mind. You see what I'm saying? Think outside your own perspective. So that's really my channel's cornerstone, is to get you to that next space, that next echelon, that next elevation that you're looking towards. For example, like no such thing as like up, down, left, or right. It's about distance and closeness. So it's like, how close are you to the source, or how far are you from the source? You know what I'm saying? So are you distant from the actual source of the knowledge and wisdom, or are you have closeness to it? Like you're intact with it. Like you can, like I say, you can teach it to somebody else. You have so much knowledge and wisdom about the topic at hand, you're able to actually teach about the topic at hand. So that's really what my channel's cornerstone is. It's to be able to get you to that echelon of knowing about yourself enough to be able to teach about oneself. You see what I'm saying? And then once you're able to teach about oneself, then other people are able to actually grasp what you're speaking on. And then boom, you know what I'm saying? Since you've obviously transformed your life, people then in turn want to transform their own. And this is where we get that elevation. Each one teach one. So yeah, much love and holler back at me, y'all. I don't know why I be doing that. You know what I'm saying? The real, that's the real logo. You know what I'm saying? E, you know what I'm saying? Y, E. You dig what I'm saying? EYE. You know, like, Much love. And then you got the little, it's like Venus as well. You see what I'm saying? Got a little, nice little upside down Venus type. I mean, pardon me. Think about the little Venus sign is like upside down type things. And then you got Mars just like this. So I'd be having all of it in there. So much love and